Hello everybody, my name is Raimund. I'm from Carinthia. I'm responsible for the brand in the retail sector. I'm very happy to be here today at TacNGear in Stockholm, and I would like to present to you the Defense 4 from Carinthia. If you want to have a sleeping bag in your portfolio that withstands any environmental conditions from moisture to cold, you definitely good to go with our Defense 4. The most important thing to say is that the Defense 4 has our insulation technology G-Loft inside. That means that G-Loft performs even in wet conditions. It keeps the warming performance also when it's going to be soaked or wet. Combining those characteristics with the insulation, with the outer fabrics, having hydrophobic outer fabric but still breathable outer fabric, makes it as a sleeping bag for any conditions. That's a 3-seasonal sleeping bag where you have a sleeping bag in your portfolio where you're not going to count any and every single gram, but where you want to have a reliable piece on your journey and on your adventure. In our Defense 4 you have one particular front zipper that is very easy to open up, and that front zipper actually is made to exit or enter the sleeping bag in a fairly quick amount of time. On the inside of the sleeping bag, of course, you find on each side several loops, so that enables you also to combine it with the liner, for example. Very distinctive for our Defense 4 is the head area. So, for example, by closing the sleeping bag all the way up, you see that the area around the head is very distinctive and very minimalistic. So that means that once you are in the sleeping bag and you can also adjust it with the cordle, it makes sure that everything is tied up so that only like the nose and mouth area, like this area, is open, that you actually are, free to breathe and that you feel comfortable within. But nevertheless, all the rest of your upper body, particularly the head area, is protected, which is a very, very important thing to say, because normally, people are using lots of heat on the head area, and you really wanted to make sure that you are protected in that particular area. Also, the chest width is very, very broad, very wide. The shape of the Defense 4 itself is very distinctive, so that actually has a simple reason to it. Once soldiers, for example, are staying overnight in the sleeping bag, they have equipment with them, they have backpacks with them. Once you have the chance, either way, to store some of your equipment also in that particular upper area, using it maybe your backpack as a pillow, let's say, or that you can just lay on it, or you can also remove your gear and put it into the footbox area. Once we have to say that the Defense 4 keeps you warm for up to -10 to 15 degrees. But of course, based on the zipper, you can also adjust, and you can also ventilate to a certain extent to regulate the heat performance of the Defense 4. Again, if you really want to looking forward to a product, to a sleeping bag that withstand any circumstances and any conditions outside, in the woods, Defense 4 is our best-selling sleeping bag for those kind of conditions, meaning that you have a weight of approximately 2 kilos by a warming performance of between -10 to -15 degrees. Very robust outer fabric, but still breathable, and G-Loft actually helps you to keep and to stay warm. Also, or even though in wet conditions, so if you have any wet circumstances, this insulation technology keeps you warm, and that's also, for example, a huge benefit compared to other sleeping bags, maybe with down filling whatsoever. But here with our sleeping bag range, you have no chance of getting cold. On the footbox, we have some small features like some loops on each side that you can also hang the sleeping bag to dry fairly quickly. The sleeping bag comes also with a compression bag that you can also put the full sleeping bag inside of a compression bag that enables you to reduce the size. Of course, I would recommend you to store the sleeping bag in a storage bag for a long period of time, let's say to store it very open and not compressed over a longer period of time. And other than that, I think what is very important lastly to mention is the sleeping bag, the zipper itself, because we have been asked many questions about the zipper and the characteristics, but the zipper of the sleeping bag opens very easy and very straightforward, I would say. And this is simply because sometimes when soldiers are out in the field, you really want to make sure that you can escape immediately in terms of you have to face any situation and you have to move. You open the zipper, you pull the zipper and you exit. That's also why we are positioning the zipper very central and in a frontal way of the sleeping bag. And one last tip from my side, if you want to use the Defense 4 for extreme cold conditions, I would recommend you to combine it with a Tropen, for example. So the combination between our Tropen sleeping bag and the Defense 4 enables you to be set for any very cold conditions for up to minus 15 to 30 degrees. So that would be definitely an add-on that I just wanted to mention. And if you want to have more information about our Tropen sleeping bag, just look at this video right over there. And just to demonstrate how to compress and how to put our Defense 4 in a compression bag, just look at me now, how easy and fast it goes. So finally you have the final result. So that actually is our Defense 4 compressed to its max, I would say. Just ready to put it into your backpack, but lastly I would recommend you to not store Defense 4 over a long time like this. For your adventures, that's perfect, but for a long storage I would suggest you to store the sleeping bag on an open space. But here you can see, yeah, very compact and still a fair amount of weight, so approximately 2 kilos, ready to go. And if you want to pick one Defense 4 up for you, just press the link down below.